So EE are joining in now with the globalist elite domination, world takeover, network of surveillance state, complete and total obsessive domination of us all, and scaremongering as well. You know, Robert F. Kennedy was talking the other day about, when he's with his wife at home, whether in bed or just in the house, and he talks about his teeth or something like that, and then he's getting teeth adverts on his phone and stuff like that, like no privacy. Well, I was actually singing to myself, that California Dreaming song, that California Dreaming, I'd be safe and warm if I was in LA, and now EE are sending texts to me, right, about wrapping up safe and warm and securely in your home in a blanket. And they're wanting people to get AI rounders packages, which have motion detectors and doorbells and wireless cameras. This is what they're trying to get everyone to do now. They first get over from broadband, then they get you on to go into the, cable and so forth, and 5G, and now they're getting everyone. They're doing it through the phone companies. The government are trying to surveillance us now. They're getting, it was bad enough with everyone trying to get everyone to have conservatories, and ruin their beautiful cottages and buildings with conservatories, right? Now, the phone companies. This is BlackRock Vanguard. They're getting phone companies now to try and persuade everyone that it's not safe. Oh, what's that noise outside? They're actually trying to make us all paranoid of everything, And it's people who show off. People with fancy stuff, flashy cars, flashy quad bikes, fancy stuff. And they bez round on them. And they got the sunglasses on and they're posers, right? If you don't pose, if you don't show off, and if you don't need ridiculous shit, why have you got anything to be scared of, right? But why would I want all that shit anyway? Why aren't you just happy with normal friends and sharing stuff anyway? Why do you need to be some sort of poser with loads of bling? It's almost like, and the worst thing is these posers who walk up and down with the big macho muscles, the big bling and the big, the guns. Jeff Bezos is one of them. Jeff Bezos is walking down with the guns, with the muscles, flexing the muscles, with the shades on, with all the stuff, all the gear, right? He's walking up and down the stage like this, posing, hey, I've got this, I've got that, I'm this. And then he wonders why the human reaction is provoking people. But what they do, these muscle people, and unfortunately my own brother's one of them, is that they flex and show off, rev, vum, 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 like this, and all this up and down, vum, 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 right? And whoa, showing off, which is provocation. And then what they do is they like to show off their alarm shit. What they do is they're like, ooh, we got all this shit, I've got all this stuff, look at this, look at me, I've got this. Why do you pose with shit as if like you're trying to make out that you're decent or you're better or something than someone who hasn't got it? And then what they do is they show off their alarm and the security shit, right? And they want you to see it. Like, hey, I've got this shit, and then like they show off their alarm shit and the security shit. And going, hey, look, you can't steal my shit, I've got the security shit, woo, and that's what really flexing the guns is, the muscles, right? Flexing the muscles, like, hey, look at these guns, come and get me, you can't get me, I've got big muscles. But why would you want to get the cunt? Why would you want to get him? Well, the reason is, he's driving up and down, revving his shit. He's revving his engine, driving up and down in front of you up in the street. Literally like, vum, 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 yeah, man, vum, vum, shades, look at me, I'm a cool bastard. But what's he doing when he's doing it? Making a load of noise, being a cunt. So the only thing you'd want to do is either shut the cunt up to be quiet, or tell him to go away somewhere else. You don't actually want his shit, you want him to go away. And you wouldn't want his shit if you weren't showing off with it. So what is the point in these people? What they actually are just annoying bastards. They're just annoying cunts with too much shit that I actually couldn't give a flying fuck about their shit. And they also spread out. They take over everywhere. I'm doing my shit here, I'm doing my shit there, and have a bit of shit here. And they're not even satisfied with having their own shit. They've got to have your shit in your area. And this is really what Bezos and EE are doing. They're not satisfied. Oh, I've got my own mansion. I've got my own phone company. Then they spread out into other people's phone companies. Oh, I'm buying this phone company. I'm buying that phone company. Now I'm buying the butchers. Now I'm buying the chocolate factory. Now I'm buying this. They can't contain themselves. And what they do is they spread themselves out. Once they've got loads of shit, then they spread it out into other people's shit. And then what they're doing is they're coming into your home. Then they spread the shit out onto your mobile phone. Oh, I've got an advertising company. Oh, I've got this. And I've got 5 advertising companies like Lifestyle Trader, like Greg Secker. And then they want their adverts on your phone. Then they spread the shit out. Oh, I've got my business. I've got my company. They're not satisfied with having the business and company and customers coming to them. Then they've got to spread the business and company and shit out to you, into your phone. And then they want to listen to you and your shit. They want to listen to you and your shit. Then the mobile phone companies, then they want the motion detectors in your house, so then they can, find out what you're doing and what you're saying. They actually spread their shit out. They're not. First, they accumulate all the shit, and then they take over everywhere and spread the shit out. And then they get obsessive and want to fucking spy on everyone and see what they're doing. But why? Why can't they just be a normal person with some friends doing some stuff, right? What? This is it. And this is what Keir Starmer doesn't get and understand. He's breeding and encouraging with Angela Rayner an obnoxious, annoying, greedy culture of power masters, powerhouses. And the only thing that's going to be a powerhouse is a house that gives the government and these corporate entities the power to know. They want to know everything you do. They want to know everything you say. They want to know when you walk out your house, when you come back in. Why do you need to know that? If you live in a village in Knaresborough or in Rumpenstinkleton, in Cumbria, why do you need motion detectors if you've got a little cottage with an Argy cooker and some blankets and, a mobile phone and, TV, even if you have got, whatever car, but you won't have a car when they're finished with you anyway. I mean, what, what does Starmer want? Everyone flipping, we've got a hot tub outside, and then we've got... If Starmer finishes the way Labour's going, and Angela Rayner, by the time they finish with the Labour Party, if they hadn't killed them all off with a sperm count dropping through the bottom of the floor and all the weird deaths that we're not allowed to talk about, that, apparently we can now talk about them because they've debated it in Parliament, but I won't go into detail of that, right? What's left? If Starmer wants to make the country so every cunt's got an hot tub and every cunt's got a fucking tennis court and every cunt's got a quad bike and every cunt's got fucking, a barbecue, right? Everyone's going to be sitting in their own hot tub, flipping fucking burgers with the lads round watching fucking football on a 59 million inch screen when they finish wrapping it around their head in virtual reality. What is actually left? Why would you want to steal a virtual reality from anyone when, the government did computers for kids? Oh, let's get all the kids computers for schools. By the time Zuckerberg and Clegg are finished, they're going to be giving everyone fucking free virtual headsets just to get them in the metaverse. So nobody's going to want to steal any. I just don't think Keir Starmer is intelligent. He's meant to be a human rights lawyer, right? The best of the best. But he ain't. Because he hasn't even made the slightest effort as Labour leader to secure his political rights for us on YouTube. None. He's made no effort. We're having to do it ourselves. So he's a crap human rights lawyer. He's the worst human rights lawyer in England, right? The worst. He's done nothing for rights at all. You know, he hasn't helped it out with his political adverts at all whatsoever. He could have done. He's meant to be leader of the opposition. He's done nothing for it. We're having to do it ourselves, and it ain't that hard to work out. He's the worst human rights lawyer. And on that merit, he might have done a few prosecutions, but, you know, there are loads of prosecutors who have done a few prosecutions, you know. You need someone who is a sandwich short of a picnic, who is a bit blind and who is a little bit stupid to do the job, because no one in their right mind would want that job. No one would want to do it. You know, the whole plan for powerhouses is dumb. It's stupid, and it's a term, powerhouse, for it's not for the people who are going to have the power. It's for this establishment and the corporate entities having power over the people. From monitoring, control, same with the 15-minute cities and everything else. It's going to give more and more power to the government. And in fact, in America, they were saying that the corporate entities wanted to buy up all the houses and own them all. They're trying to buy up houses. This is what Robert F. Kennedy's talking about. I don't like this. And I don't even like getting this text message. There's all that stuff going on in Israel now, and the Fiverr site have started scanning every time you send a file now. They're scanning all the links. You know, what happens if it's a drive link? They're scanning everyone's Google Drives. You know, all what these mobile phone companies are doing and bringing in now is they're tightening up the ratchet and complete and total it's Trojanware. You ain't got no choice. If Robert F. Kennedy doesn't make president, or Marianne Williamson, we're absolutely screwed by what they're doing. Because the only thing that annoys me and the only thing that makes me feel uncomfortable is constant people coming and fitting things. People coming and making changes and fitting things around me. And it's my family, because they're selling it to my family through the TV, through text messages and mobile phones. The people who don't want this, they end up arguing with their families. They're actually pitting families against each other. And that's why and how they're taking over the school kids at school and wanting to firstly get, you know, bars in the school and lock them all in. And then start teaching them all stuff that, you know, a lot of people aren't comfortable with at the moment, you know. I really don't like it, and you can't really complain to the phone company or to they don't like it when you complain about it. You know, I don't actually want a mobile phone. I actually want people. I like people. I don't want a mobile phone. But the government don't want us to have people as friends. They want to separate people and create distrust, and they want us to have devices instead. And virtual reality pretend people. And I don't like it at all. In fact, this government, our grandparents fought a war. Our grandparents fought a war for us, for freedom. And it wasn't really for freedom. It was a war where loads of people were sent to die and fight. And they died. And to continue in the corporate elite. There were lots of people who didn't want to go into heavy overproduction of stuff. There were people who just wanted to live normal, peaceful lives, like Verbs and, you know, Neil Oliver. And what Neil Oliver's talking about now, what's happening, you know, just we're losing the normal life, is that battle was fought and lost in World War II, because there were, and earlier, you know, the Liberals wanted to be free from corporate rule, from the industrial military complex, and they sent us to war to keep us distracted, and we beat the Germans, but we lost to the industrial military complex because the war had us all involved in heavy industry. Right, we're going to crank up production, you're going to make camouflage nets, you're going to make bullets, you're going to make bombs, you're going to make plane parts. They actually put us into labour, to work, to make all the stuff. And the rest of the cans, tins of beans with it, biotin. It was a cranking up of industry. And we lost that war, and all that we got is on the surface of it, of the front of it, a pleasant post office, cake and buns world of politeness, where everyone thinks they're free and everyone thinks that it's a country with rights and so forth. When you will work. You will work these hours, and you'll have a weekend free here and there, and you can go to the seaside, you can go to Lanzarote, but you will work and you will produce for us, and can I see your papers, please? Can I see your papers, please? Do you have a passport? And it's got excessively worse than, paying £5 for a driving licence, and, if you're a naughty boy, you get, like a month ban. Well, if you're really naughty, you get a month ban or have to pay an 8p. Now, then they started, really, a year, 2 years, it's actually the whole time, and then the whole burger thing, the culture, this is, and the way that they dictate to us, this is how we want reality, this is how we're going to do it, this is how society is going to be. We're going to have burger restaurants, whether we like it or not. We've got they've taken the money off us. They're the ones who put everything on the table, and the council just hammers it off and passes it off. And now they want us all on bikes and not to move around and not travel anywhere, and every motion and movement be recorded. But why? Why does it need to be? Why does it need to be? Because they've got huge, massive interests and things, and they don't want anyone to oppose it. They want to know what everyone's doing. And why did they build those things? So they can get loads of robots and machines and automated things. And when they've got those, they really won't need us anymore to be the workforce. And they don't want a load of spare people around with an opinion that isn't in line with their opinion, And even if you start speaking about different opinions, now they've sprung all this ad stuff on us now and revealed it. I think they've been using it for a long time before that and made certain assessments. The way that it's going now at the moment, I don't think that I've got proper communication with everyone. I feel like I'm already caged, like that certain... At the moment, I'm sending text messages and they're not getting through, they're not being delivered. But you only know it ain't being delivered because you get a message saying it's not being sent. What happens if you're sending them and they're not getting sent and there's no error message? So you don't even know it hasn't been sent. It's just that you just don't get a reply and you think the person is not interested or is too busy. I think that they've assessed everyone, like Russell Brand and Vobes and Neil Oliver, and everything that's happened has been controlled opposition. Everything that's happened on GB News with Lawrence Fox and so forth and Brand, it's all been planned and strategically timed. So it looks like, we've got a chance or an opposition. I really don't like all this scaremongering. Why does everyone need? Why does every bit of motion need to be detected? Now we've got noise all the time at night time. There was no noise literally just before COVID, and since the council did up some roadworks somewhere, it fitted cycle lanes, it shifted a lot of traffic, and now all the traffic comes past us because they don't want to go on the route into town with the bike lanes. So they're creating hassle everywhere and noise. And what's the solution for that going to be? More bike lanes, and then they move on to another area, and then it continues to annoy people. We need to stop this. I know that Vobes really is on a mission to stop it, but I ain't even got time to watch Vobes' videos now because I've got stuff to try do myself, and then there are other channels to watch, and there's too many channels. They figured that in. When there's only the BBC ITV and Channel 4, there isn't that much to watch. You look at the TV guide, it tells you what's on, right? And there isn't really much on. Your favourite programme's only on once or twice a week, right? And, now when there's an urgency and there's so many things to try and watch, you just have not got a chance to watch it all. There's no chance at all to watch it all. None. And now is, I never used to be interested in contacting the TV or going into studios or writing into fucking Philip Schofield or whatever it is or whatever it was. I wanted to go out myself and have my own life, right? And they take that away from people because they don't want people to have their own lives. They want people's lives to be worship of the celebrities' lives in the studio, all facing the front, not facing each other, and all, attention on one person, which I think is a terrible way to have life, And, the whole ideology of it, a consumer life where, product therapy, to have fun, some people just go look around shops for something to do. All point of sale retail life. As if there isn't things to do other than point of sale retail, I actually think that they really, unless these people who really, really like their jib, the people who really, really like what they're doing, is mainly football people. The young lads who are, playing soccer, then they go get some burgers. They've got no diabetes or cancer when they're young. That they're happy eating the food. And then they go to the cinema because they like the movies they're knocking out, and then they go through the drive-through. And then they go back to the mate's house, crack some cans open, watch the box. They love it. They love the sponsorship. They want the football kit with the sponsorship on, watch their heroes on telly, go watch some comedian, but they actually, I'm all right, Jack. They're all right doing that and they like it. Anything else would actually be boring. It's the actual, this is what they're selling. I mean, they're all sponsored up. This is what their sponsors are making. Prime drinks, Mr. Beast bars, football boots, the football kit, the new movie game, the new cans of beer. That's what they like, and they're going to play for that team. That is what they like, and that's what they're going to play for. And, when they've got the powerhouse with the barbecue and the hot tub and, the fucking motion detectors when they're asleep, ooh, what's that noise outside? But why do you need the guns? Why have the guns, the big muscles, the guns, and flex them if you can't use them? You see, what's the point in posing with all the shit? What's the point in posing, with the fucking shit, with the bikes and all the fancy shit, right? And then flexing the guns and then revving up and down the street, rum, rum, rum. Why do that? And then, ooh, what's that noise outside? Have a motion detector, feel safe. Why flex the muscles and have the guns if you're going to be a pansy? And then, paranoid about somebody coming breaking in and stealing your shit. It don't make any sense. It is like Dumber and Dumber. It is Dumber and Dumber. And they don't only spread the shit out when they've got more and more and more shit. And in fact, their own lives are so chaotic that they even have to pass it on to other people and spread it out to other peoples, which is what these companies do. It's just like eating. People now, they can't stop eating and they're eating far too much. These companies they're just making far too much. They're making too many products, too many things. And then they're wanting too many security things and there's too many ads on phones. And it's taking up too much of the time. There are too many devices. And there are just too many things being made. And Starmer's wanting to ramp it up. He's wanting to build 4 or 5 times more than we've built in the last 10 or 20 years. He just doesn't understand how it's affecting life. Vobes gets it. Neil Oliver gets it. And I even think Russell Brand gets it, even though Russell Brand has, he's ramped down a bit. But underneath it, I know Brand likes to be a celebrity and he likes the attention and stuff like that. But there is a understanding, there is a philosophical ideal that he pictures with all his, you know, with his, you know, meditation and his, you know, fitness and the rest of it, that at least he, you know, he does have, I think, within him, he does have that, you know, Vobes, Neil Oliver belief system core, even if he kind of delves into the materialistic side of it, you know, it's... if we hadn't have created all the inequalities, if we'd have not overproduced, nothing would have stopped technological advancements and science labs from learning things. Something went wrong before the war, probably by the time of the First World War. We could have corrected the inequality, and we could have got control over the humanistic greed and the lack of self-control. And it could have been beautiful and peaceful with intelligence and learning and technology. But they didn't want that. They didn't want it. They wanted to command and conquer, and they wanted to carry on ever since the conquest, the royals wanted to know, Domesday, who's got what. In the Domesday surveys, they wanted to know who's got what have you got, write it all down, record it all. And it's just a continuance of that, but to a insanely ridiculous degree of detail now. From Domesday, they're wanting to take the Domesday surveys to an insane level and take stock of their humans. They want to take stock of their humans. And we now can't ask any questions to these corporate elite or companies. They will answer, they won't give any details or any answers, no one trusts each other. And then we've got all the additional pressure of, all these wars that are kicking off and sending more and more immigration over. I don't think those countries are just dysfunctional. I don't think they are. Those countries are suffering weapons being supplied, arms. It's like when we went over to North America, and took guns over and horses and gave them to the Indians. That's what's happening throughout all Iraq, Iran, China, the whole thing. I'm not saying China don't do their own developments in technology, but they're guided. We've got these bank account guys with suitcases and briefcases advising Saudi. If we're advising the Saudis on bank investments and sending bank managers over like fucking 007 in suits to advise them, then we're advising them on a lot more than that. And George Galloway should know. I just don't think Galloway knows a hell of a lot about all these countries. I mean, Galloway is the guy who's updating us all about it. He knows a lot of these people. He's abroad a lot of the time. But I just don't think Galloway either believes or sees in the underlying shadow military-industrial complex that is these bank advisors of the BlackRock Vanguard elite who are sitting around. And then the military side of it, you see, even though Galloway was an MP, he wasn't Secretary of State for Defence. And I even think that there were sections of the army and military and Charles's private ownership companies and so forth that are just beyond leaders, beyond the Prime Minister, beyond leaders. I don't think Sunak, for all what Sunak knows and all of the inside information he's got in his job and position, I just still think he's like a naive child. I just don't think that Sunak has any remotest idea of who is intervening and controlling phone calls, guiding things, decisions, causing a lot of these events and incidents. It is a military from a very, very private secret regime that has the absolute pinnacle of all this technology, and beyond it, beyond leaders, beyond Bill Gates, and the military, developed the internet. Before Gates were even picking, transistors out of his, Happy Meal. There's something beyond Gates, and there's something beyond Musk and beyond Zuckerberg, and Tony Blair, he is a key worker in this whole global enterprise, whereby he's been converting all these foreign governments to their way of doing things, which is, we will not give you any information, we are not transparent, you will, we can do anything for any reason or no reason. And he's been converting. I didn't mind the government when I was growing up. I never ever had a problem with applying for things, getting forms, getting a new bank card. But something happened coming up towards COVID, probably from when I did my campaign, probably from 2010-ish. It was around the time when David Cameron was Prime Minister and he sold off the public services. That is when it really started happening for me, when I really, and then a lot of people got ill from, a lot of drugs that were going around and things like that from China. I think that there was or what's happening now that Andrew Bridgen's reporting on, I think that was planned. And I've got a theory for it. With all the legal drugs that they had going around everywhere, suddenly just came out of the woodwork, and everyone sort of was doing it. That caned a lot of people and sent them diabetic and into cancer, primed them. So we'd already been going that way in the sperm count and the rest of it through the diet since the war. But I don't think they were content with the acceleration of it. I think they thought they'd really accelerate it and kind of like bombers. And I think that that's what happened with that drug epidemic. But and then Cameron, put a stop to it. But it was planned. Cameron was just a fall guy for it. And selling the services off at the same time. That was really the main move with it, in my opinion. And now we're seeing the repercussions of that. And then there was the COVID hit, and then they put the vaccines out, and I think that it was strategized through all the foreign connections. I mean, I don't think Galloway fully can see it. I don't think he can see it. I think that he knows a lot from his job and role in the Labour Party. But like when he got set up and had to go to America and defend himself, I think that was a joke set up, a bit of a comedy, an inside government joke on Galloway. Just to say that he's under control. Get control of your MPs. Get your MPs under control, man. Get your MPs, get your ministers under control, man. This is it. And I really don't know what we're going to do at this time. Because, now that they're pitching everything to our relatives, to our friends, through mobile phone offers, systems, and even family and friends now. It's happening around me now, and I have no control over it because their pictures and things, ideas are popping into parents' heads, into family members. And they're just doing these things. Oh, now we're getting these motion detectors. Now we're getting these things, security. Now we're upgrading to this. Now we're getting that. And you don't have control in your own house. Someone else is controlling parental guidance. The guidance of your parents. Parental controls on all these devices. And then they've got, what they've got algorithms for the kids. I can't see us getting out of this because the psychology behind it and the absolute detail they've got now with these devices. And these devices now that they've given us are our only means for defence. They're like Winchester repeating rifles. We've been given them like they gave them to the Indians, you know, and at least they gave the Indians horses. They're taking our cars off us. They're not giving us horses. We're being treated worse than Red Indians. They gave Red Indians Winchester repeating rifles and they gave them horses so they had an excuse to shoot them down with Gatling cannons, you know, and kill them all off. Oh, now they're armed, so they didn't look so bad. They're not even giving us our horses now. They're not even giving us the cars. They're taking them off us. And they're not even giving us Winchester repeating rifles. They're giving us phones that are, you know, dud. Now we've got like joke phones, comedy phones, where all the controls don't work, all the controls are wrong. They're not user friendly. They don't work. They pop up messages and stuff like that unless you pay up. Nothing's free anymore. Everything is hard to use and doesn't work. This is malware, and it's ransomware. The theory of ransomware was that, you know, do this, you know, if you don't give us some money, you know, we're not going to do this, or we're going to keep badgering on you unless you give money. That's what these apps are doing now. They're like, you know, this app's going to be annoying, and your phone's going to, you know, do loads of stupid stuff. And unless you pay up, that's a ransom, you know, and no one is, you know, Trojanware. Oh yeah, this is built in and hidden in this. This is built in and hidden in that. This was all planned out. The whole thing, the Trojanware, the malware. At least America are opposing these CBCDs that Sunak's wanting to bring in. You know, that's something. And some people are making some noise about this World Economic, this WHO takeover of all the rights. You know, someone has got to do something about, you know, the greed of the middle class and elite. And I am all for, you know, working class people having more money and, you know, being helped to, you know, do their houses up nice, even if they don't have a huge or massive house, money being put in to help them, you know, make it look nice or make the area nicer for them, you know. I really don't think that, you know, the elite or the middle class should have any more money. They've got and had far too much. So as for, you know, Labour, but I don't think that that's what Starmer wants to do. Starmer wants them to convert into these new powerhouse systems, which are government surveillance controlled. It's not power to the person who owns the powerhouse. It gives the powerhouse is the power of the government to, you know, control you. You know where you're walking around, inside, outside, what you're saying, what you're doing, who's come round, you know, what you bought, you know, what you're planning to buy. That's the power of the house itself over the occupants. It's not the power of the occupants. It's certainly no fortress. It definitely isn't. And who is it going to be a fortress against? You know, if we had equality and people had equal stuff, then you wouldn't need, you know, you wouldn't even need to lock your door. It's all wrong. I really don't like Angela Rayner and Keir Starmer at all. I think they are fascists and they can't even see it. It's like lifted straight out of the Temple of Doom. There couldn't be two more perfect characters, you know, than Starmer and Angela Rayner, as if they'd just come straight out, been lifted straight out of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, you know. And unfortunately, I think George Lucas is on that side, you know, and Spielberg, unfortunately. I really don't know how Robert F. Kennedy's going to do it. I really don't, or Marianne Williamson. And, you know, I'm even trying to help them in my own way and whatever way I can, in what way I think is the best way. And I'm getting stuff pulled down by YouTube, TuneCore, unlawfully. And, you know, Amazon, you know, they're just, you know, obstructing us, you know. And, you know, trying to sort that out is taking all the time up from what I could be concentrating on other things. I ain't even got time to keep up with verbs now. You know, I know there's a hell of a lot of movements going on, like, you know, Stop ULEZ and Extinction Rebellion and other movements there's that Stop Cop City movement. It's just, there's too much to follow now. Plus trying to do my own stuff that I want to do. I really don't like this metaverse idea either. Everyone in the metaverse, while you're distracted in the metaverse, all the, you can't see, who's coming into your house, and then I really don't like this, everyone is on motion detection and movement control, except, you get these, mega ministers who, literally have almost like force fields around them. They can maneuver around the country, and while everyone's distracted in the metaverse, they can get past all the motion detectors and this and that. And, if anyone's planning something to oppose them fairly politically, they'll come into your house and it'll vanish from the front room, but you won't notice because you'll be in the metaverse, and, alarm didn't go off because they've got the super Sith thing, which is what they're doing now. Don't think I'm joking about that, because the fact that, they're doing this on YouTube. That's what they're doing. They're taking your stuff down when you've got legal right. So if they'll take your things down when you're on YouTube, or they'll come onto your phone and take it off your phone, or whatever, if you were distracted in the metaverse, if they wanted to remove anything, any item or any object, let alone a video, they'll just come and fucking do it. If they'll, for any reason, the policies that these people believe in are any reason or no reason. You can't, if you want someone to be in charge of anything who will do it for any reason or no reason, that means that, they don't even need a reason. They don't have to give you a reason. If someone can take your channel down and they don't even have to give you a reason, then that person could, when you're in the metaverse, distracted, they could come into your driveway or house or your drive for any reason or no reason, or come into your house and take something for any reason or no reason. And I don't think that it is immigrants. I don't think that it is poor people. I don't think that it is protesters. I think that it is a shadow elite that are trying to remove every single capacity of the human, every single advantage genetically of the human, sperm count, attention, microbiome, capacity to buy anything, because they crank the prices up all the time so you can never afford anything, pump all the money into lottery and charities, when you could be just giving, if you had excess money left over, you could just be giving charitable donations to your whole area anyway, if they hadn't taken everything, the elite. It's all wrong. And it is their way of doing things. They've told us, they made the statement and they made the announcement to us. They said, this is the way that we do it. This is the way that we like it. And this is how we want it. They want to be able to do terrorist incidents and not be disclosed of who's done it. But they want you to know, get the message. They want you to get the message and get the point, to try and scare you or just, make out they're angry and pissed off about it. And they won't be able to take your shit down. And really not really know who or why took it down, because you don't even know who took it down, and now they don't even have to say why. And there's no freedom of information at all. Everything that Tony Blair told us about transparency was a lie. Everything that David Cameron sold us about selling the companies off to have competitiveness was a lie. The competition was against us, the people, from him and his pals. That was the competition. The competition was them versus us. It wasn't like companies versus companies for the best price, because they've bought all the companies, they own them all. There's no competition between chocolate bars now, because it doesn't matter what chocolate bar they sell, they still win, because they're all owned by the same investors. David Cameron and Tony Blair are pure evil. These guys, they come and go, oh, look, here he is, let's have a look at him. Let's, oh, it's just David Cameron. Oh, I know David Cameron. Yeah, oh, it's Smiley Cameron with a handshake, and Tony Blair. Yeah, these are the pure demons, the pure corrupt men. And they convince themselves in their own minds that they're not. You know, these people are... This makes the Bill of Rights that evil judges, ministers and councillors look like Tweedledum and Tweedledee. It makes the Bill of Rights, evil ministers, judges and councillors look like fucking Hansel and Gretel in a forest eating gingerbread men. You know, the level of Blair, Clegg and Cameron on global fascist takeover of, you know, these Eton boys. Oh, look, well, let's play Conkers. Have a little game of Conkers. Oh, now I'm Prime Minister. Oh, it's just the English government and the entire country. It's just the entire nation. Oh, I'll have a fuck around with these Conkers, or I'll have you a match. Come on then, challenge me with your Conkers, working class. So we'll have a bit of a competition here. See whose Conkers the hardest. A bit of a competition here. Who'll take my marbles off me in the schoolyard, Cameron, eh? Eh? Oh, David Cameron, he's changed the rules now, he's won. Oh, there goes Cameron with all the marbles in the schoolyard. Oh, he's won all the marbles from the working class people. There goes Royal Mail. There goes, you know, electricity and the water and BT, you know. Oh, now we've got them now they're ours. Well, I thought you were going to have a bit of competitiveness. Well, we did, now we've won, we've got them. You know, and now we can do it for any reason or no reason. That's a good game. Oh, do you want to play marbles with me? What are the rules? Well, the rules are, you know, I can take a shot for any reason or no reason, and I can call out that you lose for any reason or no reason. You know, these are our new rules. You know, now we've got Rishi. Oh, it's Rishi. Rishi Sunak. Hello, Rashid. You're welcome. Come in. Put the uniform on, stick your McDonald's badge on. Hello, Rashid, you're very welcome here. Now, we're going to teach you how to play this, Rashid. If you want to be on this team, you want to be a winner, don't you, Rashid? You want money? Take money from these schoolboys. Yes, you do. You want to win all the money, all of it. Be polite, though. This is how we win, you know. Ooh, don't get angry with me, or I'll tell Headmaster. Ooh, don't get angry. Let's be polite here and nice. You know, let's make some amicable rules up. Yes, well, you know, take that shot and, there you go. Well, where do I have to hit it? Well, I'll tell you that after you've taken your shot. You know, if you hit it on the, you know, to win, you have to hit it on the left side. But I've already taken my shot, I need it on the right side. Well, you lose then. You know, obviously, I can't make the rules up before you take your shot, or else, you know, you might win. You know, now that you've got these mobile phones and now you depend on them, now you can't get rid of them. Now you will have to accept our terms and conditions. You will accept, you will consent, you will submit to all these adverts and the surveillance on the phones and the scanning and the motion detectors and the fucking voice detectors. My phone's not going to work. It won't work. If you don't accept all these terms now, we've entrapped you. Your phone's not going to work at all. So you'll have to. That's entrapment. You know, that's a nice bit of malware, isn't it? Ransomware as well. Yeah, pay £15 extra. Well, I've already bought the phone. Well, you know, you have to pay another £15 extra, or it's going to go a bit slower. And these apps are going to have all this pop-up shit unless you pay for that, you know. We're going to keep giving you pop-up shit unless you give me the money. You'll have that pop-up shit on there. You know? These men are absolute, pure Bill of Rights evil ministers, judges and councillors. The pure, absolute evil of the earth. And they're straight out of Eton. Cameron, I'll name them. Cameron, David Cameron, Tony Blair, Nick Clegg, Mark Zuckerberg. These people are groomed and taking over the world. And they think that it's all for them. Happy handshakes, happy tech deals, go to a meeting, go to a conference. Here's Bill Gates popping up with Michelle Donlan. Here's a new centre of technology and innovation. We want to be leading the world. Rishi Sunak will be leading the world with CBCDs. Well, apparently America's not in on CBCDs now, Rashid, so you'll be pushed for luck with the Americans. Although, the WHO is, making a good effort for world takeover. The thing is, for all the business deals and new products and technology and smartphones and novel digital technologies that Rashid is passionate to bring in and make more and more and more profit, if he ain't got enough money already, beyond leaders of Charles' excess disposable trillions, some people actually want to live out a life in peace, in relatively modest, terms. Meet people, travel freely, not wanting, these companies to be listening to everything you're saying. Not needing motion detectors, because why would you need motion detectors when, there's nothing to detect? Why would anyone want to come round? It's all for the profit machine, and more and more. Tony Blair is all over this. That you need the data, you need the data, you need the data, and we want the data, and you need the data. The data on what? Why does Tony Blair want the entire genetic fucking, genetic data on every single person on a computer disk? For what purpose? It's life. We're humans. You only need that data if you are, and they've already. Why would you be concerned about it for health reasons when you were making an absolute killing on the economy in pushing all the Subways and McDonald's? Completely the wrong way. Why would you suddenly be so concerned, to unravel the mysteries of mankind? I don't think that they're helping out working class people with the mysteries of unraveling the DNA of mankind. I really think they're doing it, everything they're doing with the tech is obey, consent, accept, submit. Everything psychologically, which is being put through the phones, on the adverts, is to depower people and obey. And their ultimate new anthem is any reason or no reason. Why would you want someone in charge who can remove or take something for any or no reason? And that is their champion flagship policy, which they're pushing through all their businesses. And it is a fascist policy that is not based on even fair trial. It's not based on justice. It's not based on a court system. It's based on complete and absolute power. And you don't even get to ask any questions. You not even pay €20 to make an observation, like in Ireland, they've got them duped. We really need to take a rain check. This war was already fought in World War II to get everyone to go along with it. And, we relatively thought we'd had peace. We thought we've had peace, but all we've been doing is shoveling coal into this industrial military machine, and it's been growing in immense power ever since, silently and secretly, until now it springs its trap on us. It reveals itself as the happy, friendly mobile phones suddenly change to frowning ones and impish behaviour, and you have no choice. When you have no choice except to submit, consent, accept, and the thing just won't even work anymore, you've been suckered. You know that you've been suckered by these people.